All right, everyone, go ahead.
The case was obviously, anybody who witnessed it could see how utterly and completely overwhelming the amount of evidence was. We obviously, I don't think anybody would doubt that we fought like hell. We fought like complete savages and left it all on the battlefield for Joaquin Guzman. I mean, this is America, and no matter who the defendant is, you still have to fight to the death. No matter what people think, what society thinks, what the government thinks, we took that obligation incredibly seriously, and as I said, we left nothing. Everything was left on the battlefield. And it's been an absolute honor and a pleasure, an honor, and I mean that, to represent Joaquin Guzman, because if you can't represent Joaquin Guzman as a defense lawyer, you shouldn't be representing anyone. And I would say that working with these two lawyers, we were thrown together in the most difficult of circumstances, Bill, Eduardo, myself, and you know, we meshed. Somehow we figured it out. We meshed together, and these are two friends I'll have for life. I appreciate all your coverage. It's an important day, I suppose, in American history, but the fight is not over. We'll continue to fight for Joaquin Guzman until our last breaths.
Did you speak to him afterwards, and if so, what did he tell you?
He did. I mean, look, he was very clear to us. He's a very upbeat guy, and he was bringing our spirits up, which is surprising. Usually it's the other way around. We're consoling a client who's just been convicted of counts that will ensure that he'll spend the rest of his life in prison. This is a positive guy, and he has always been positive with us. He's always tried to bring our spirits up. And look, we judge him differently than you judge him. We judge him differently than society judges him. We judge him differently than the government judges him. We judge him how he is with us. And the guy's always been a gentleman. He's always been supportive. He's always been happy and appreciative of all of our efforts. And that's how we leave thinking of Mr. Guzman.
What's in front of him in terms of
course he does. He's a highly intelligent guy. He knows what he's facing, and he knew the odds. I mean, look, this was a case that was literally an avalanche of evidence. So much that we could barely wade through it in another language. It was incredibly difficult to even get prepared for this trial. We were obviously begging for more time, not because we wanted to dot some I's and cross some T's, but because we just wanted to be prepared. That being said, I've never faced a case with so many cooperating witnesses. I've never faced a case with so much evidence, and we did our best. And I'll hold my head high. I know these two guys will as well. We did all that we could, and it just wasn't enough today. And that's just how it is as defense lawyers. You have to have a thick skin because you can't win them all. You do the best you can, you fight, and at the end of the day, you want to be able to walk out of a courtroom, face the press, losing a case, and be able to hold our heads up high, and that's what we did.
Bill.
What's that? Of course we're going to appeal. I mean, there was a tremendous amount of issues that were created here. We felt that the cross-examination of cooperators was greatly restricted, overly restricted. That's going to be an important grounds for appeal. Obviously, the whole extradition process will be a ground. You know, it's too early to think about that now. We're sort of trying to digest it. I mean, this is not, emotionally, this is not an easy thing for any of us. But we'll think about the appeal tomorrow, but I can assure you that the appeal will be fought just as this trial was fought, and as you all saw, this is balls to the wall, and that's how we fight cases.
Thanks, guys.
What's that? I mean, these counts, these are life counts. There's no guidelines calculation here. These are life counts statutorily, and you know, do you have a question? What's that?
He wants to know if you think it was a fair trial, if you were treated fairly, and if your client was treated fairly.
Look, he got a very vigorous defense, as you saw. Do I think it was a fair trial? No. We wouldn't have objected at all if we thought the trial was completely fair. No defense lawyers ever thought that they've gotten a completely fair trial after there's a conviction. There are grounds for appeals, and if we didn't think that there were grounds, then I would tell you that it was a completely fair trial. We obviously disagreed with the court vigorously on many issues, and certainly the government, but you know, look, you can't win them all. And I can say that, as I said, the evidence was overwhelming. This was a very difficult case, but we didn't fight it as if it was a fait accompli. We fought it every step of the way. Every witness, every question was a battle, and you saw it. And that's what you're supposed to do in America for people you represent as a defense lawyer. Some people say, don't take El Chapo's case. You don't want that kind of publicity. You don't want the government looking at you that way. Look, these two guys and myself, we went against conventional wisdom in a lot of ways by taking this case and fighting the government as we did. I'm proud of the fight that we did. I'm proud of the work that we did. And as I said, we leave holding our heads held up high, and we were all honored to represent Joaquin Guzman, and we're all honored to be a part of what we consider to be a historical trial.
Oh, hold on. Obviamente no estamos de acuerdo con el veredicto, pero como dijo Lichtman, luchamos por Joaquín. Él estaba muy consciente de lo que iba a pasar hoy y seguimos adelante. Vamos a seguir con la defensa de él hasta donde podemos.
¿Cuáles fueron las últimas palabras de Joaquín cuando se despidió de usted? ¿Cómo lo vio? ¿Cuál fue su...?
Dando ánimos a nosotros. Él es un hombre muy fuerte, muy duro, y él entiende lo que pasó y lo que le enfrenta, y que sigamos adelante con él defendiéndolo.
¿Va a haber una apelación?
Seguro. Vamos a ver todas las opciones que él tiene.
What is his demeanor now?
His demeanor is that he is expected the results that we received here today. He's prepared for that.
Bill.
He's strong.
Mike.
He's strong, and he wants to let everyone know that he is going to continue his fight with the appeal and any other litigation which is necessary. So his demeanor is strong.
I mean, this is not a weak guy, I can assure you. This is not a guy whose spirits we needed to buoy. This is a guy that was strong from the beginning, from the first moment we met him, and it's been 2 years since we've met him. And this is a positive thinker. He's a positive guy. And look, it's a testament, to his character. For better or for worse, this is a guy that doesn't give up. And I can assure you, he has lawyers that will never give up. And that's the beauty of America, the beauty of the American justice system, is that every defendant, no matter who he is, and no matter what he has been charged of and convicted of, deserves the best efforts of defense lawyers. And we will continue to do this, not just for Joaquin Guzman, but for all the people that we represent. When we come to court, I'm going to be back here on Thursday. I don't expect to see any of you guys here. I'm going to do my thing the same way, with the same effort, and 3 of us will, for all of our clients. And that's what America is about.
But one of the things you have to keep in mind, though, with Joaquin, when he came in here, he was already presumed guilty, unfortunately, by the media, by the government, by everybody. And that is an extremely tough case to defend. We weren't just fighting the evidence, we were fighting the perception of who Joaquin was. And we hope to get that out in trial before the jury. So,
Do you still believe the government is protecting El Mayo?
Look, you heard our defense. But we thought about what happened in Mexico with El Mayo. They're cleaning up their mess over there. I hope they actually clean it up. I don't expect that they will, because it's been going on for generations over there. But we're not here to talk about our defense theories at this point. But it is, as Eduardo said, and he is 100% right. We had a fight. We're holding off the government with a chair, and we have the media busting through the door on the side. It was very, very difficult to fight the perception. Look, we get that you guys have a job to do, but the jury reads this stuff. And, Joaquin Guzman was convicted before we even knew who Joaquin Guzman was. He was convicted in the press, and it was a very, very difficult thing to overcome. He was presumed guilty. This was not a case where we had a defendant presumed innocent. He was presumed guilty. I don't blame you guys, because you got to do what you got to do, but it's very, very difficult to get a fair trial in America when the press is so overwhelmingly negative. And look, I understand, there were escapes that were dramatic, and that was all part of the lure of Joaquin Guzman. But at the end of the day, a lot of this contributed to a myth of what El Chapo is. El Chapo is not necessarily Joaquin Guzman, but that's for another day. As I said, we're happy to fight the fight that we did, and I'm proud of it. And as I said, I'm proud to work with these guys. I'd walk into hell and back with these guys anytime, and that's how I feel about this case.
and I just want to give one quick shout out. Un segundo. These young ladies back here, Mackenzie and Samantha. This case would have been so much more difficult without their able help. They helped us. They knew the case
I can tell you this, that my summation would not have been as interesting without these two women, because they did yeoman's work on short notice and actually made me seem human and humorous at times.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.